I make sex like 2 times a week.
That's an off week for me.
Now, sometimes when I'm jerking off, I can go for like 5 minutes non-stop.
Probably laid like, I don't know, over 20 ladies.
At once?
No, over the course of, being out there in the field, playing the field.
Yeah, sounds about right.
Hey everybody, you're listening to the Tight or Loose podcast with Daly and Driscoll. Hey everybody, yeah, it's the Tight or Loose podcast, episode number 1. For those of you who don't know, Dale and I, we do another podcast called the Tip and Maple Leaf podcast, but this one we've been working on for a long time, a long one, and we're finally about to do it.
You already let the cat out of the bag right out of the gates, brother, letting people know that we're Leafs fans, long-suffering Leafs fans here.
But we won't be talking about that on this podcast.
No, maybe a time or two. You never know. Something crazy happens, like we get another pants down around the ankle situation or something. But
this is a different one. That one, that's where we cry about being fucking Leaf fans. This one is different. Yep. We're going to talk about everything else. We're going to keep it entertaining, keep it laughs. Like I like to say, this podcast is like cracking a few beers with your good friends and just sitting around talking for an hour.
You got it, man.
Good times.
Who do you think will be the first one to call this podcast the other podcast on the podcast?
100% it'll be you.
Yeah, probably. But here we are, 100%. episode number 1 of the Tight or Loose podcast.
Yeah,
and
baby.
We've been kicking this puppy around for a few years in the making. Like, it's taken us a while to get around to it, but finally here we are, literally years in the making, right?
Yeah. We talked about it like a couple years ago. We're like, we should do a podcast because we're always talking on the phone. Like, we'll call each other to talk about our other podcasts and things we should do. And then it just rambles on where we're just laughing about shit for 2 hours on the phone. And we're like, this should just be a separate podcast. I mean, if we're going to do it, we might as well record it. So here we go. So how are we going to start this? What are we going to get into first?
Look, I got some topics and all that, but I just think we should tell people that, for the first time, obviously it's our first episode, some of the things that we might get into over the show, like some of our favorite things from the past, present, whatever, obviously huge save by the Bell fans from when we were kids. So there'll be all kinds of Preppy and Zach Morris and AC Slater references on here. Go Bayside Tigers, 100%.
Yeah.
Just to name a few, Chad. Golden Girls, Amos Deceiver, Growing Pains,
little boner action. Yeah.
Who's the boss? How can we not fire Tony Danza right out of the gates?
Yeah.
More on him later. But Dazed and Confused, McConaughey, Saturday Night Live skits, like, just to name a few. Like, I'm leaving a bunch out, but
me and Dale grew up in, like, we're 90s kids, we're 80s babies, we're 90s kids, so there'll be a lot of that.
X-Files, Red Shoe Diaries, how could I forget that?
All that scrambled porn, going down the old VHS tapes, it'll all be there. So join us, and here we go. We're going to get episode 1 started. Dale apparently has a ton of topics to get into.
One right out of the gates.
All right, what is it?
The Olympics, man. So the Olympics ended, and, were you watching a lot of Olympics or not really? I mean, it was basically the only thing on for 2 weeks straight every single night. Were you watching a lot?
Yeah, man. Not a lot, but I watched it.
Yeah.
I watched it. I mean, I'll be perfectly honest with you. I checked out a lot of the women's events.
That's where I'm heading here.
I knew that's where you were going with this one. But did you see the guy where his schlong knocked him out of the high jump, the pole?
Dude, do you want to go there first, or do you want to go to the girls first?
Well, let's talk schlong because everybody's seen it.
This dude from fucking France, man, he goes up, he clears the bar, no problem, he's over.
Yep.
And he's just coming down, and this huge bulge in the front of his pants just knocks the fucking bar flying, right? This guy was packing heat, man. Heat. He was totally clear except for his dick. His dick knocked the fucking bar right off, man. that would be the worst moment of my life and the best at the same time.
Yeah, it's the exactly. I didn't feel bad for him because like, oh, poor guy, you didn't win the gold, and now everyone in the world knows you have a gigantic dick.
Yeah. Yeah.
Nothing to feel sorry about there.
Oh, hell no, man. Yeah,
but
that
you're
guy,
totally right. He was like, he had his arms in the air thinking, I'm about to medal, and his goddamn dick knocked the bar off.
It was so awesome, dude. So awesome. But yeah, man, that guy from France, like, just what a way to end your Olympic run, right? Like, just your
What a fucking massive hammer.
Yeah, your cock just knocks the bar right off. And you like they believe me, they slowed that puppy down to the slowest of all slow motion.
Oh yeah. They knew what they were doing.
Like, here's the bar, he clears it, and you can just see him coming down the other side. And then as he's getting closer, like his cock starts, like as soon as his cock hits the bar, the bar starts jiggling and his cock starts jiggling, and it's tight jump or tracksuit or whatever he was wearing. So
it wasn't a tracksuit
or whatever they wear, the spandex, right?
Yeah,
the spandex
like
suits.
Yeah.
So anyway, that was one of the highlights of the Olympics for sure.
But you're right. They if you watched it, like if you just watch it with the actual announcers, they slow it down. They obviously see it. They obviously see it, but they don't make mention. They're just like, oh, he must have touched the bar on the way down. It's like, well, yeah, obviously we all see it.
Yeah. As soon like when they zoomed in on it like 100 times, like you really get a good shot at what's going on there.
Yeah.
It's quite something. But I'm gonna move on from the bulge gate at the Olympics to
awesome.
The potential world's hottest female athlete. Well, I'll tell you what, there's a few. I mean, this is the main reason for watching the Olympics here, folks. But Germany, I don't think it's Alicia Schmidt. I think it's Alika Schmidt. You know who that is?
No.
You got Google at your disposal right now, by any chance?
I do. I probably know who it is, but
I got
I'll
two
look it up.
names. I got two names I'm going to throw at you. She's the first one. So she's a German. She's from Germany. So she's a German track and field star.
Wow.
Who's been titled like the world's sexiest athlete. The German track star is an internet sensation and has taken up modeling as a side hustle. She has She has more than 5.1 million followers on Instagram alone and is one of the most followed amateur athletes in Paris. Obviously, she took part in the mixed 4x400 meter relay. I don't think they did very well, but besides the point, 5.1 million followers on Instagram. And wow. Just incredible. I
just looked it up.
Yeah, if you don't know who she is, look her up on Instagram or just Google her. Unbelievable. She's so attractive. And there's another, so she's been called like the world's sexiest athlete or whatever they're saying. There's another girl from, is it Paraguay? Is that how you pronounce that?
Sure.
She was sent home. Her name is you want to Google this one? Luana Alonso. Did you see this story? She got sent home. Another just unbelievable Fox blonde smoke show.
Yeah.
She got sent home.
She's a swimmer.
She got sent home from the Olympics for creating what they called an inappropriate atmosphere, which apparently included sneaking out to places like Disneyland. Okay, like what the hell, man? You're gonna send someone home. You're gonna send someone off the team because they're sneaking out. Fucking go to Disneyland.
What is it? What does that mean? Like she's not. There's a Disneyland in France.
Yeah.
So she snuck out and went to Disneyland for the day.
I don't know. Like, I don't know what the rules are. Like, what do you lock down? Like, is there a curfew? Like, you can't. Like, I don't think that would be like. These are grown adults. Like, what do you get? Like,
yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like any profession. Like, yeah, you're
That's crazy.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Because I mean, we've all heard the stories of like how the Olympics is just a shit show orgy.
Oh yeah, more on that later.
But she gets sent home for going to Disneyland.
Yeah.
How about the guy who raped the fucking pole vault? How about him? Send him home.
All that guy was trying to do was win, though, man. And like, you know,
was he though, or was he trying to rub his dick on the?
You imagine the bar play pardon the pun, but you imagine the bar play on that guy that night when he hit the town in Paris? Come on, dude. Come on.
I
Oh
can't
my
imagine.
God. Just you'd have to beat them off with a stick, Ben.
Well, he's got it. He's got a big branch.
Excuse me. Oh God. But anyway, this Luana Alonso chick, give her a follow on Instagram as well. None of these chicks can speak a lick of English, I'm pretty sure, because they're all posting like reels and stuff, and I'm like watching, but it's all subtitles. Like it's all one speaking German, the other speaking a different language. But I'll tell you, like these European athletes, wow,
Crazy.
it's unbelievable, man. So some highlights for me, those two girls, just watching them. Like they didn't win, whatever. I think it's crazy that they sent the one girl home. For like, okay, they said Disneyland, but was she sneaking out to probably really do some other shit? Like maybe meet up with Bulge guy from France? Like probably more likely, right?
Yeah, probably. I could see that.
You know, a little Minnie Mouse action. I'm not so sure. I'd say she saw the pole vault accident and was like, I got to hit the town tonight.
Yep.
Makes more sense to me.
Got to find that guy.
What do you think of the Canadian women's beach volleyball team? Now, you want to talk about, okay, what do you think is the hottest sport at the Olympics? Not in general, like female sports, but what do you think is the hottest sport at the Olympics? I kind of buried the lead there.
Yeah, it's volleyball. I think
volleyball, man.
Beach volleyball, even just regular volleyball.
Yeah,
is good too. But yeah, beach volleyball is unreal. I saw people complaining about it. Did you see that?
About the outfits?
Yeah, there was like outrage from like a group of people that thought that they shouldn't wear those outfits.
You're out in the fucking sweltering sun, middle of the summer. What do you want to be wearing? Fucking track pants and a hoodie? Like, well, come on.
I don't know. And let's be honest here. Like, who's watching it?
Me.
Yeah, exactly. That's who's watching it. And what do you want them wearing?
Well, but not like the women, the two women ladies, they lost to Brazil in the final. Brazil was like not wearing anything close to what the Canadian women were wearing. Like they had like spandex shorts and like basically full, like kind of, what do you call them?
The sun shirts.
Yeah. So like, and the Canadian women barely had anything on. Like when they would go for like, when one of them was going for a serve and they do like a behind like angle and the other one's like leaning over, like giving like a signal or like a number sign, you can basically see like right up their ass. like there's not much left to the imagination there, man. Like when they give that camera angle, like it's right there. And do you know who gotta, just to bring sports? Okay, well we're talking about sports, but Gord Miller, who works for TSN. I don't know if you saw this.
I did.
But he needed to get a front row look at the women's beach volleyball because he was just like, I don't think he missed a game. Like, he needed
like
to be there.
Did he call it or he was sitting?
No.
He was just sitting in the front row.
Just an observer, just watching, but not in the back. Not in the back. Gordon Miller, front row.
Not
he
the
was
press
on camera.
box.
I can't believe you didn't see him. Like they put him on camera several times.
I didn't I didn't watch the full matches. I would watch I would go on YouTube and I would just watch. They would have like match. They would show the highlights of the match. It'd be like 7 minutes long.
Yeah,
and it was always just on the CBC thing. So I don't think CBC is panning over to Gord Miller on those things. So he didn't sit in the press box. He was like courtside.
He couldn't have got. The only way he could have got closer was if he was like the judge or the ref. Like he couldn't have got closer. He was right. His face was right in it. He could sniff it, Chad. He was loving it.
And I know if you talk to him, he'll talk about like their athleticism and how great the sport is and how much he loves Canadian athletes. But we know why he was in the front row. We know why.
Dude, that's exactly. I would have been right beside him. Cold beer right in your hand and just like enjoying the Eiffel Tower in the background and a couple of half
beach volleyball.
Yeah, good beach volleyball matchup. Like Brazil shows up, I'd be like, okay. I'd go to the next court. Like I'm not there for that. No time for that. but the Canadian women just fucking rocked it. And honestly, congratulations to them winning silver medal. It was close. They could have won gold. They just let it slip a bit in the gold medal game. But anyway, I don't know. I guess that ends the Olympic talk for me. Well, actually, anything else on the Olympics? So we clear cut women's beach volleyball is the absolute like hottest sport at the Olympics without a doubt.
Without a doubt.
Anything else on the Olympics? Because I might have one more thing.
Okay, what?
Do you have anything else from you on the Olympics?
No, I don't.
Like I've just been okay. Like they've got breakdancing now. Like
Oh God, yes.
Okay, skateboarding.
Ray gun.
What's that?
Ray gun. You didn't see the Australian woman?
Oh, yeah.
Breakdancer?
Yeah. Sorry. Yeah.
She scored 0 points.
Yeah, that's wild.
0 points. She came out and just flopped around, like did not break dance at all. She just flopped around like it would honestly be. It's like just pulling someone from the crowd and being like, "Here, you go."
That's odd. Maybe I don't know. I don't really understand that one. But there's
controversy that she somehow like snuck her way onto the team. Like she was part of the selection committee, so there were actual breakdancers who didn't get to go from Australia, so this girl could go. And not only was she like hilariously bad, she scored 0 points, not 1 point. She lost whatever the score is, 18-0 or 8-0, whatever it was.
That's
crazy.
Yeah, that is.
You imagine that?
No.
Imagine going to the Olympics and not getting 1 fucking point.
No, like, but there's so many there's so many more events that I'm like, is this a
Summer Olympics?
Is this a sport? Like, is this a sport? Like, I don't know. Like, they had some really odd ones. What's that? She single-handedly got breakdance. Now breakdancing's out of the Olympics.
Oh,
did they say that? Like,
it came in for one, and they said it won't be in 2028 in LA.
Wow.
So
okay,
they had.
Well, maybe I have something that they could replace it with.
What's that?
Just gonna throw this one at you. Let me know what you think. Be interested to know what people watching or listening think too. Should pussy eating be a sport?
What do you mean?
Should pussy eating be a sport? Pussy eating is one of the good pussy eating is one of the most difficult things a human can do. Okay, let's be serious here. Let's be serious. It's very challenging. Like you're like a pro's pro. I would love to see a gold medal in pussy eating. Can you imagine that? Could you imagine that?
I get that. Would you have both? Would you have both men's and women's?
I think you'd. Well, I wasn't really thinking that far, but I think you'd have to. Men's
and how would you put it on TV?
Not competing against each other. The men compete against the men. The women compete against the women. You'd have to have some type of drape or some type of you have something covered, but I'm not sure. There'd be a way to do it.
What if you put
a glory hole situation?
What if you put a camera facing the eater's face?
Brilliant.
So you don't see anything. You just see from the nose up, right? And then the guys can talk over. They can be like, "Look at the technique. Look at the way he's digging in there, or she's digging in there."
Okay, so I was thinking, so what do you think? You think there's why not?
The kids, they're playing harmonica or something.
It's think about it, the time, it could be a timed event, and ultimately
longest wins.
Not the longest, just who does the fucking best job at it.
Why time it?
Shortest time to the best result, gold medal.
Okay, but
you know what I'm talking about? Come on, man. Okay, let's just go.
No, wait, time out. I still got a couple questions on this.
And you don't have to be an athlete to take part in this event, folks. You don't have to be an athlete.
Just
anybody.
That leads me to something that I want to say about the Olympics. But one, okay, if it's fastest to the best result, are you because you have to swap out, or are you using a robotic pussy, or
no, there'd have to be multiple.
But they're all different.
I know they're all different, but so you're right. So there'd have to be okay. So here's how it works. Like, however many women are the women that are getting it done, and how they all get it done by all the dudes have to do it to all of them until there's like narrowed down, like fucking Big Brother. One's kicked off, or Survivor. One's kicked off the island until there's only one man standing. And I don't know. There's like, I haven't thought about the rules, but there's ways to let's just talk about this for a second. If this was a thing, who do you think would be some of the names that would pop into your head that would be like, you could see meddling in this event? Any names come to your head who you think, man, you like when you picture somebody, you think, man, I bet you that guy, that guy can eat a pussy.
Well, yeah, like
living, alive or dead,
Wow.
dead or alive.
I mean, any porn star would probably be up there.
I don't think they would necessarily be the best at it, though.
I saw a guy on the subway in Toronto, and he was pretending to eat a pussy for 15 minutes the whole ride. Like, he just had his fingers like this. And his tongue
I thought he was like had his fleshlight with him, and he was like,
no, he was just some dirty crackhead, and he was just like going to town. I mean, maybe you find guys like that. You know what I want to see in the Olympics? Sorry to get off your
no, I'm gonna bring it back in a second. Go ahead.
Topic. What if they just took regular dudes? Like, what
competing in events?
Yeah, like the same Olympics, winter, summer, all the same events, but instead of having professional athletes, like they should have a regular dudes, regular chicks.
I'd rather watch that
Olympics. So like you just get a letter, like you get a letter in the mail, and it's like, Dale, pole vaulting, be there. You got 2 weeks to get ready, and then you're going to be in France competing for Canada.
I'd pop a fucking potato in my spandex and hit the fucking field, man. Let's go.
Wouldn't that be great though?
Yeah, it would. It would.
Then they're like, Driscoll, speed skating.
Most
guys,
guys
get your tights on and
Yeah,
get your skates on. Go.
Most guys would never be able to get off the ground. Pole vaulting is very difficult.
That's what I mean. Wouldn't it be so awesome just to watch regular guys you get a minimum 2 weeks training. You get just picked for an event. You don't get to pick, and you have to give it your best go.
Oh, absolutely. I'd love to see that. So let me just bring it back. We're going to get off.
I know you want to go.
But I'm going to throw some names at you. Back to, should pussy eating be a sport? Right. I'm going to throw a couple names at you. You tell me if you think these guys would be in the running for potentially the gold. Okay?
Yeah.
Let me throw a couple names at you. How about one of our old buddies, Matthew McConaughey?
I don't think so.
I'm talking top three. I'm going to give you some names. You tell me if they've got a shot.
I don't think
he'd
be no. I don't think so. No.
Well, I can't see him being too far behind that.
I think you're giving him too much credit.
Okay, maybe. I don't know, man. That guy. I don't know. Something about him. We'll see. Okay, old classic here. Tony Danza. Where would he be at in the pussy eating Olympics? Top three or just a bit outside?
I mean, if it took place in his Who's the Boss van,
probably
top three. Outside of that, I don't think he works as well.
Maybe that's where the entire event takes place. So
all right, now we head down to the van outside for the pussy eating Olympics.
Angela and Mona can be the judges or whatever, but anyway, okay. So he's not in the top three either. Let me throw you another one. I got a couple left. What about this maniac, Burt Reynolds, in his fucking heyday?
Yeah, gold medal.
You think he's in the top three? Okay.
He's definitely. I would honestly say probably world record holder. Like he'll probably there isn't a world record, but he would set it in the first Olympics, and it would probably stand for our lifetime.
I could see it, brother. But this guy, now really think about this guy's career as well. How does this guy not hit the podium? Magnum PI, Tom Selleck.
Oh, Christ. Yeah, he threw me off with the Burt Reynolds.
Him and Burt Reynolds, I mean, they're pretty much dead even, I'd say. Yeah. I might lean Selleck. Like, think about I don't know. That's a tough one, man.
Do they
That's a
have to
tough one.
shave before they go in?
No.
But doesn't
Absolutely not.
that give them like the ultimate advantage?
Hey, man.
It is what it is.
Mustache is a mustache. If you want to grow it out, if you want to have a little.
But they
advantage.
have like top-notch mustaches. Like the women could probably feel them from 3 feet away.
So Reynolds top 3, potentially the gold. Selleck, you think he's maybe top 3 as well?
Definitely the final would come down to Selleck and Reynolds.
What about a curveball? Another guy with a mustache. What about our old friend Wade Boggs? I bet he knows his way around a box. The batter's box.
He'd be too drunk.
Too drunk? Okay.
Yeah,
so
he'd be too drunk.
Boggs does not hit the podium. Okay, you want to know who I thought about this a little bit. You want to know last one who I think would actually take the gold?
Who?
This guy's eating a lot of pussy, Chad. And I'm being serious when I say this. I think the gold medal winner in his heyday would be Gene Simmons.
Maybe.
Think about that guy's fucking the bass player from Kiss, man. Think about his tongue. That guy's eating a lot of pussy.
Maybe.
A lot of pussy.
Maybe. I still think Burt Reynolds would hold the world record.
Okay, so maybe we go with those as the top 3 then?
Yeah, top 3.
Okay.
Burt Reynolds gold, Tom Selleck silver, Gene Simmons bronze.
Okay, I like it. So
then Tony Danza, then Matthew McConaughey. Like
so
out of those 5 guys, that would be the ranking.
Yeah, so like I got it. So they were all right. They're all going to be right there at the top. And then
if I'm just using those 5 guys.
Yeah, okay.
Anyway, what's the next topic?
What country do you think is having the most sex? What country's fucking the most at the Olympics? They gave out 300,000 condoms were handed out to.
How many?
300,000 is what they said. The last Olympics, it was like 150,000 they handed out. I don't know if this is just to the athletes or what. I don't fucking know. But 300,000 condoms were handed out. What countries do you think are having the most sex at the Olympics?
Do you want me to pick who I think's number 1?
Yeah, I got a top 3.
Okay, let me see if I can guess one of the countries in the top 3.
Yeah.
Probably Mexico.
No, they were up there. I was reading a 20 list, and Mexico was like 6th or something like that.
Oh,
they were up there.
You know what? It's probably like a country I'm not thinking. It's probably like Sweden or Norway or something like that.
Close.
Yeah, it's probably one of those countries.
Okay, so the top 3.
It's not like Britain or Ireland. It's not Canada or the States.
Canada was not on the list.
Yeah.
In the top 20. America was, but they were like 14th or something like that. So anyway.
And it's not like Ireland, Scotland.
No, dude,
yeah, it's like
this will come as no surprise because
Finland.
They were on the list, but lower down. This will come as no surprise. It's all European. The Europeans love fucking. They love it. They love fucking. Okay,
who's number 1? Okay, no, go 3 to 1.
3 is Switzerland.
Oh, that's what I was thinking. Like Switzerland, Norway, those sort of like
2.
What do you call those? I forget what you call those countries.
Yeah, well, you're what European? What other than European?
No, there's like a word for it. Like, is it Scandinavian or something?
Oh yeah,
like
yeah, 100%. Yeah. So Switzerland, number 3, number 2, Italy.
Oh,
the Italians love fucking too.
Hey,
they love it.
With my money. That's my Italian.
Number 1, Spain.
Well, I said Mexico, Spanish.
Yeah, fair.
Spain, Spanish.
Yeah. So I mean, no real surprise there. I don't think. Like, would you have expected like the States or Canada or someone to be like that? Didn't surprise me with like the European type stuff. Like I kind of thought, yeah, that makes sense. Like the baguettes and shit with like Italy and their baguettes.
I years ago, like God, this is more than 20 years ago. I don't know if you remember this, but like I went and I lived in Los Angeles for like 3 months.
Yep.
This is like we were 19 years old, I think, when I did this. And I met a Spanish guy. I think he was Spanish Italian. So he's on that list. This guy, man, you would walk with him. Every girl that walked by Every single one. He'd be walking down Venice Beach and he'd just be like, hello, hello, hello. How are you? Hello. He wanted to be an actor. I'll give you $10 million if you can guess what he changed his name to for Hollywood.
You know, what was his real name?
Well, he had some like crazy Spanish name. But when he got to Hollywood, he's like, I changed my name because it's not Hollywood enough. I'll tell you, because you'll never ever guess it.
No,
So we're sitting there and I'm like, well, what did you change it to? And he's like, Valentine Mood.
Valentine
No,
Mood?
that's what I said. I'm like, Valentine Mood? He's like, no, Valentine with a B. Valentine Mood is what he changed his name to for Hollywood.
I like Valentine better.
So did I. That's what I said.
Valentine Mood is a pretty cool fucking name. Valentine.
I think he thought Valentine was the word. Like, I think he thought Valentine was Valentine. Anyway,
you should have said to that guy, dude, Valentine Mood, that's your ticket right there. Go with that. Lose the B. Keep the B.
After I left, for the next like 5, 6, 7 years, I would constantly go on the internet and search to see if he was in any movies. Nothing. Every day he was going on auditions, and then I'd see him later in the day. I'd be like, how'd it go? Not good.
No. It's hard to make it, man. Especially like if you can't make a simple decision, like it should be Valentine Mood and not Valentine.
Yeah. And also like he couldn't speak English worth of shit, which is really hard to get apart in Hollywood. But anyway, the whole point is it reminded me because he could not walk past any woman. Like he had to talk to every single woman.
Love it.
And he slept with a lot of women.
Oh, no doubt.
A lot of women. We don't have that. In Canada, we don't have that kind of stamina.
No.
We can't do it.
No.
Anyway, what's next?
Well, since we were talking about which countries are having the most sex and all that in the Olympics and whatever, I thought we might want to go and just have a little trip down memory lane. I don't know if you're up for this.
Yeah.
Like, potentially, I kind of want to hear about the vasectomy thing. I think that's I think that's a story worth telling, especially like the whole doctor's involvement. So wherever you want to take that, I think like you should share the vasectomy story because it was an absolute beautiful story.
Yeah, man. If anyone,
it's been a while now. I don't know how much you can recall of it, but I think you can remember the main points. The main points.
Yeah. So I had it was pre-COVID. I had my vasectomy. I
had to be like just though, right? Like just prior.
Yeah, it wasn't too far. Well, no, when did COVID hit? 2020? It was probably like 2018. But I went in, like anyone listening, if you've had a vasectomy, you know how it goes. You go in, you don't know what to expect. He tells me to take off my pants and lay on the table. And then he pulls out like a little...
Hang on, Chad. Did you have like an initial like consultation and stuff like that? Or was it just like you book it and you're in and away you go?
With my doctor. So your doctor doesn't perform the vasectomy, another guy does. So I went to my doctor for like a physical and I told him I wanted a vasectomy and he's like, yeah, that's no problem. So he referred me.
So the appointment gets set up and then it's just the first time you go, that's when it's happening?
Yeah, you fill out like a whole questionnaire thing before you go in. So you meet with a nurse. And then I went into the room. I can't remember if it was on separate days. I feel like it was all on the same day, but maybe it wasn't.
Yeah, okay.
But when I only saw the doctor once, and it literally it takes like 20 minutes. Like he laid me on the table, but the best part about it was he brought a fucking space heater, like a little tiny black space heater, and he put it right.
To warm
yeah, he put it right in front of my balls. He turned it on. He's like, might get a little cold.
Well, that's like, what time of year was it?
It was summer.
Okay, so it was you were probably sweating anyway. I'm surprised you didn't say, actually, man, you want to pop a fan in here instead? I'm getting a little sweaty down there.
But anyway, he does the procedure and you go home. But the best part, like you're so sore for days, right? But then when you have your follow-up appointment, so you meet with the doctor and the doctor's like, all right, here's what we need you to do. This is a few days after the vasectomy. He's like,
a few days after
they give you a cup and they're like, we need you to go home and we need you to ejaculate into the cup, or you could do it there. But I was like, I'll go home because you have to get it fresh. Like you can't just let it sit on the counter for too long. You have to get it fresh.
You didn't want to bust one out there, right?
I didn't want to bust one. Well, they give you the cup the day you leave, and then after 3 days, they're like, you have to bring it back. You can bring it empty and do it here, or ejaculate, and then, which is really weird because, like, I ejaculated at home, but then when you bring it, like the nurse knows what you're doing.
Okay, so back up just a second. So you pop one out at home into the little cup.
Yeah.
And then what do you put it in?
Like,
so I know it's in a cup, but then what? It's like I highly doubt you're just walking out of the house with like a cup.
I just walked out.
A cup of cum?
But it had a lid. It had a lid.
You could see cum, like clear, like a clear container?
It was a clear
So
container.
you didn't think to put this thing in anything else. You're just like, I'm just gonna carry my container.
You know what? I think I wrapped a piece of paper around it that had like my medical information.
Okay.
Because I know what you're thinking.
Well,
and also like they made a big deal.
If I saw someone walking, with a cup of cum, I'd be like, what?
Well, how would you know what it is? You'd have to get really close and look.
Yeah, okay. But those pea cups or those I know what the cups look like. But okay,
obviously.
Anyway, go ahead. So you get the cum cup in the car and you're off to the doctors.
And it's like time, like you can't waste time.
Right.
Because they have to see if there's any sperm in this. So if you leave it in the sun or you go shopping and leave it in the car for too long, you have to do it again. The test results they'll come back bad or whatever. So I walk in and I'm thinking like, okay, this will be a nice private thing. Like I'm walking in with a cup of cum.
Yeah.
And I walk in the door and the fucking waiting room is so tiny and it's full. There's like kids in there. There's people.
What?
And you can hear everything that somebody says. So the woman's like, yeah, what are you here for? Like, cause she's so busy, right? And I'm trying to whisper. I'm like, I have my ejaculate here to give to the doctor. And she's like, what? I'm trying to whisper. So then finally I just say it out loud. And I'm like, I had a vasectomy. Doctor told me to bring the sample in. And she's like, okay, this is the best part. Go in. The doctor does the test and then they want to talk to you about how you're feeling and everything like that. But he walks into the room and he says, incredible sample.
What did you say?
I said, thank you.
Just like he was impressed with the amount.
That's what I thought.
Yeah. There was just so much. There was so much that. So
keep in mind, you can't touch your ding dong for 3 or 4 days.
Okay, so you hadn't come in like 3 or 4 days.
3 or 4 days.
Yeah, so it's probably going to be a big load.
Yeah, and I caught it all.
But it would be. But he would be used to having guys bring back the cum sample, not have came for 3 or 4 days. So he would be used to seeing it.
Maybe. I got there in such good time that it was super fresh.
Super fresh, yeah. Super fresh cum. Yeah. Well, that's interesting. So you just said, away you go, doc. Like you just handed it to him. Like, did he just take that baby bare hand?
He didn't take it.
Oh, he just take it.
He just followed up like with all the medical questions after, like how you're feeling, how you're doing. I have no idea.
Where did the cum cup disappear to?
The nurse took it.
Oh, did she barehand it?
Well, she had rubber gloves on.
Oh, okay. So but he saw.
But I swear to God, when she took it, she went,
oh yeah.
I think she did.
Of course.
I think she did.
Well, that's impressive, man. Impressive amount and impressive story.
I had no swimmers, so perfect vasectomy.
So it takes that quick, eh? Like 2-3 days. It's like you're good to go.
Yeah, you're just so sore.
Yeah.
But it's the procedure, like I know married guys who just don't want to do it. They're like, oh, just the idea of doing it is whatever. Just do it. It honestly takes 20 minutes. It's a few days. You're so. Another thing, you have to wear tighty whities.
Oh, you can't wear boxers.
Yeah, and I always wear boxers. So my wife went out and bought like a whole pack, and you don't want to put shorts or pants on, so you just walk around for 3 days in tighty whities all day, all day.
Yeah, well, that's okay.
You
for a
can't go to
couple
work
days.
or anything. Like you have to stay in bed for at least 48 hours because you can't move, you can't walk.
Like, I'll tell you this. I thought about it. I have thought about having a vasectomy, but I'm old school, man. I just pulled out.
I know,
Tried
I know
Tried
guys
and true.
that don't have any kids, not married, and they've had it.
Oh yeah,
They're just like,
Yeah.
I don't want it.
No, I'm serious. Like I have thought about it, but I just pull out. Tried and true method, man. It's always worked.
Whatever works.
190% of the time, or what is it?
60%, 90%, 100%.
90%, 100%. Or what's Sex Panther though? 60%. What does he say? 60%
of the time it works.
Works
every
every time. Okay, so love hearing that story. The
Yeah.
doctor. Now, do you think do you think he says that to everybody to just like why would you say that to everybody? Like why would you even say it?
He didn't even say it to me. He just said it when he walked in the room.
Oh, you heard
I just heard him say it.
who the fuck was he talking to? Himself or the nurse?
Maybe like he thought it and he
just
said it out loud. Yeah,
That's
but he didn't
wild.
mean to say it out loud. He was just like, "Oh, incredible, Sam."
Imagine how much fucking cum that guy sees.
Oh, dude, when I went to get the vasectomy, there's me and then there was another guy. And then by the time I came out, there's like 3 more guys waiting. Like this guy's just cutting ball sacks all day.
That's wild, man.
Yeah.
That's wild. Oh man. Okay.
And he talks to you while he's doing it.
Like what you said, like there were kids there in a busy way. Like, why the fuck is that the only thing that happens there is vasectomy? Like vasectomies? Like, why the fuck were the kids
No,
there?
this is a different doctor. So the guy who does the vasectomy is not the guy. Then you go to like your doctor.
Oh,
he's the
fuck.
one that, so it's like a regular family doctor. So it's a tiny waiting room with tons of people. He's the one that looks at your sample. He's the one that tells you.
Oh, that's
he's the one that for me, he's the one that gave me my results.
Oh,
He's the one
I
that
thought
told
this whole time that you went, but it was the vasectomy doctor.
No. You go because at my doctor's office, there's like a lab right there, so they can do the results and give them to you all at the same time.
That makes sense.
No, you go to the vasectomy clinic to have it, and then everything else is done through your doctor. Your doctor tells you the results. You never see that vasectomy doctor again.
Okay, that makes
so yeah,
sense.
He's not seeing that much come.
Okay, well, here's a couple crazy things before we wrap this puppy up.
Yeah,
Did you see this story in the UK where some fucking dude had a USB cable stuck in his cock?
What?
Did you see? Yeah, did you see this story? Like
I thought you were going to say ass.
Oh no! This is not a joke. Had to go and have like emergency surgery to have this fucking thing removed.
How?
Like, I don't know, man. I don't know what I don't have the answers. I just saw the story, but like apparently it's a real thing. A USB cable. I don't know what, like, was it a USB A to A? I hope not. Was it a lightning on the one end or a C on the one end? Are you Googling it right now? So yeah, if you can get any further information about it. But anyway, like, first of all, like, what are you doing? Like, what kind of kink or what the fuck are you doing where you're trying to like stick a USB cable up your fucking dick, like in your dick hole? That just seems absolutely crazy to me. Like
USB cable.
Yeah, USB cable. Are you finding it or no?
Yeah, it was a 15-year-old.
Oh, a 15-year-old. So I thought it was a guy.
And this
like an adult.
This was in London.
Yeah.
He said that he inserted a knotted up cable into his urethra and admitted to the doctor that he did it to measure the length of his penis, triggered by his sexual curiosity.
He was trying to measure the length of his fucking dick. You ever heard of a ruler, dude?
That's
A
exactly
measuring
what
tape?
that's exactly what the article says. A ruler would have worked too.
But hang on. But inside though? Like how the fuck did it get stuck inside? If he's just trying to measure, like I just don't, I can't make sense of that one. So he was trying to measure the size of his dick, but he ended up getting the USB cable knotted up and fucking stuck inside his dick. Oh God, I can't even. Oh man, that's wild shit. Anyway, I just like that's some crazy
Wow.
shit. Anyway, don't need to. I just wanted to bring that up because I just think it's crazy. Like of all the things you hear of, like how the fuck does that even happen in the first place? So I guess there you go. He was trying to go ahead if you want to. So he was trying
No,
to measure.
I'm reading it.
Yeah,
A
yeah.
34-year-old man in Indonesia went into the emergency department because he had pain with his urination for 3 days. Turns out he had strung an earphone wire into the end of his penis, something he did 3 to 5 times a week while masturbating.
Oh my God. Oh my God.
This one time, it lodged, the cord broke off, ended up moving up and lodging itself into his bladder. They got it out using forceps, and he is now fine.
People are fucking crazy, man.
People are fucking weird, man.
Yeah.
So when he was jerking off, he was sticking a headphone jack in,
Jesus.
and I
Okay.
guess a piece of it broke off, went into his bladder,
Oh,
and then he was
God.
obviously, if you have a piece of anything in your bladder, it ain't gonna work properly. Where do you see this news?
Yeah, it's I don't know. It's weird.
Crazy, crazy.
It's crazy. It is crazy. But I want to move off of that, but not too far off of that. This is the
Okay.
last thing I got. And if you got anything else, whatever. Do you know why they call, or do you know what they call? I'm gonna go to why, but I'm gonna ask you first if you know what. Do you know what they call a dick piercing?
Isn't it a cock ring?
No.
What do they
A,
call
a
it?
cock ring goes on your cock to like keep
Oh,
an
yes, yes.
erection.
Yeah.
But yeah, do you know? So do you want to take another stab at it? Do you know what they call a dick piercing?
Mm,
It's
I don't.
good.
I don't know.
Okay, they call it Prince Albert. Okay, have you heard of? They call it a Prince Albert. Have you heard of that before?
No,
So
I
do you
haven't.
do you know why?
For some reason, I was going to say an Aussie.
No, not a bad guess, but like, so if you didn't know it was called a Prince Albert, obviously you're not going to know why it was called.
I have
this.
no
So, like,
idea why.
Do you want to take a guess before I tell you? Why do you
Pri-
think it's called a Prince Albert?
Okay. If I'm going to take a serious guess, my guess is that Prince Albert was like an old prince back in the day who used to pierce penises.
Very close.
Okay.
Very close.
And that's honestly, I have no idea who Prince Albert is, but that's my guess.
Very close. It was an actual person. And
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Yeah. So the most popular story of how the Prince Albert attained its name involves tight-fitting trousers, which were fashionable during that era. We're talking the mid 1800s here. I'll get more into that in a second. Prince Albert was reported to have a penile piercing in order to hang his penis to one side of his trousers, as this was more aesthetically pleasing. Now that's very interesting, but here's why. There's pictures on the internet surfacing from 1845 of this Prince Albert, whatever, and this. I'm reading this. I'm not saying I'm reading this what somebody else wrote here. The clothes were or what does it say? These were thick clothes, but there was no elastics and no rubber in the clothes to keep anything tight, just strings of cotton. Soft, completely soft. Prince Albert appears to have an 8 to 9-inch penis and a massive set of balls. Okay, so this is in 1845.
And you have to remember in
1845,
1845, like the average height of a man was like 5'1".
Sure.
Do you imagine how big that would look?
No.
if you're only like 5 feet tall.
No. So soft, 8 to 9
Oh.
inches soft and massive testicles. Okay. Massive testicles. So baggy pants were never an issue at that time. I'm not sure why that comes what they're saying here, but listen to this. So he had a brother. So definitely the two brothers of the royal family, both were pierced by their father intentionally.
Oh,
For strapping the penis to the leg. That was the reason of the penis. So it didn't bulge out and you couldn't see it. They wanted to strap. The piercing would allow you to strap the piercing to the leg and helped keep it from flopping around excessively, showing it off excessively. So there you go. The brother ended up dying from what was syphilis and whatever. Like he ended up.
well, it was
dying.
1845.
Yeah. And then I just think it's Prince Albert, man. I just thought that was an interesting
That's
thing.
crazy.
Like, I never
That
knew.
is
Yeah, like
insane.
I never knew. And like it's still all myths. Like, is this really what happened? Like, did the dad really pierce the son's cock? So because it was flapping around and it looked more. So basically, the whole thing is they pierced the cock so they could tie it to like a boot strap or tie it to the side of the leg and not have it flopping around fucking everywhere because the clothes were so loose. There was no elastics. They weren't tight fitting. Right. So I don't know. I just think that was a crazy story. Like, you imagine the dad coming in. He's like, all right, boys, get him out here. And pierces his son's cocks. Like,
Is Prince Albert in the town in Saskatchewan? Is that named after this guy?
I don't think so. I think this was, I think this was,
No, I think it might be.
okay. Balmoral Gardens. Ever heard of that? I haven't,
No.
but I assume this was somewhere European, like England or something, but maybe not. Balmoral Garden, if you can see where that is. I don't know. Could be. I'm not 100% sure. But
Well,
yeah.
that's a good story.
Yeah, I thought
Very good story.
Yeah, it's myth, whatever, but it's not 100% like accurate, but I just thought it was interesting, man. But yeah, anything else you want to throw out there before we maybe wrap this puppy up, or what are you thinking, brother?
No, I think I don't have anything. I think we've
Crammed
covered a lot.
Yeah, we crammed a lot in.
We crammed
here
a
for the
lot
first-
into
for
it.
The first episode.
Yeah, it's our first episode. We're gonna do a lot more. We're gonna get into some really crazy shit and talk about not crazy shit, but we're gonna talk about a lot of stuff. We're gonna try to do this once a week.
Yeah, every
Put
weekend.
out a week. Yeah, every weekend put out so that Monday morning you have an episode ready to go.
Yeah.
And other than that, I mean, we've been working on this. We've had this idea for so long. It's just so nice to finally be doing it, man.
Yeah, just come on, shoot the shit once a week about random topics and have a fucking few laughs and talk about some weird shit, some random shit, some funny shit, some hot chicks. Obviously.
Anyway, anything else?
No, I don't think so, man.
Well, listen, everybody, thank you so much for listening to the Tight or Loose podcast, episode number 1. And until next time, we'll see you around.
Yeah, I think that's it. Like, we'll see you next weekend for sure.
Yeah.
I think I'll say this, Chad. Some people like to keep it tight, and there's nothing wrong with that. Me personally,
Oh.
I like to keep it loose. I like to keep it a little
We
loose.
didn't even, I'm just going to explain this quick, where the name Tight or Loose came up from.
I don't know if you should explain it. Just keep it a mystery. Just
Okay, we'll keep it a
mystery.
mystery. You know
Keep it a
what?
mystery.
If we get to 100 episodes, I will tell you what
Okay.
Tight or Loose means.
Okay, but hey, some
I
like
can
to
go
keep it
either way.
tight.
I can
Yeah,
go either
some
way.
like to keep it tight. Me, I like to keep it tight. So keep it. No,
All right.
sorry. Some like to keep it tight. I like to keep it loose. So
Yes.
let's keep it loose out there. We'll see you next weekend.
I make sex like 2 times a week.
That's an off week for me.
Well, sometimes when I'm jerking off, I can go for like 5 minutes nonstop.
Probably laid like, I don't know, over 20 ladies.
At once.
No, over the course of, being out there in the
Yeah.
field, playing the field.
Yeah. Sounds about right.
Hey, everybody, you're listening to the Tight or Loose podcast with Daly and Driscoll.